Hello again, Grizzly football fans, and welcome back to another edition of Griz Tracks. I'm AJ Mazzolini, beat writer for the Missoulian football team.
And I'm Kyle Sample, sports reporter at the Missoulian.
The Griz had a tough one last week, maybe their worst outing of the year against Portland State, 35-16 loss that really sets up an interesting one this week because there is no margin for error now. Idaho State is the team, and the Griz head back out on the road to Pocatello for a 2:30 kickoff on Saturday in a must-win game. At 4-4, they need every win from here on out.
Yeah, I don't think they saw themselves being in this position when the season started.
Yeah, especially after the North Dakota State game.
Right, yeah, they were on a high, and then ever since then it's just they've never been able to get out of the rut that they've been in offensively.
Yeah, and the lowest of the low last week in Portland. Torrential downpour, and the offense just couldn't get anything going, while Portland State couldn't stop scoring on the big plays. So the Griz were trying to move right past that one, focus on the Bengals for this week. A team that is a little bit easier maybe to handle, but shouldn't be looked past either because they can score a few points, although their offense, as you said earlier, a little flawed perhaps.
Yeah, they graduated an All-American quarterback last year. They lost their offensive coordinator, and since then they've just never been able to get the production that they had last year with Madison Magnum and Xavier Finney and that high-scoring offense that really led them to places that they hadn't been in a long time, and this year it's just been a little bit of a disaster.
It's been bad since the opening week. Scored 55 points on a Division II team, and since then have gone 1-6. And a lot of that is because of the quarterback play. They don't have Arias anymore. He was an All-American, and instead they went to a guy, Michael Sanders, who has done okay, turned it over a lot, but now he's hurt, so they're down to a redshirt freshman, and that makes things even more difficult for them. That's a team that turns the ball over like an epidemic. I mean, they have 24 turnovers this year, are minus 17 in turnover margin, and that's the worst in the entire country.
Yeah, really makes games difficult to win when you can't hold on to the ball. And on top of that, they don't get into the red zone often. They don't give the offense chances to score, and turnovers have just kill them. As well as their defense has really regressed to not quite 2012 levels, but close to it.
Yeah, and Coach Kramer has been all over that defense for most of the year, and the turnovers in the defense have given him headaches, saying they're keeping him awake at night. Those two things, and they've been keeping a lot of Bengal fans awake too. I'm sure the offense can move the ball a little bit. They just can't sustain drives, is what it appears to be. And if the Griz can get out, maybe score a couple points early, they could really put some pressure on that offense, get some sacks again. I mean, there's no team in the Big Sky that has a worse first and third quarter than the Bengals. They're getting outscored 4 and then 5-1 in those quarters. So that bodes well for a Griz team that also is a little bit of a slow starter.
Yeah, they've only had one drive start or one game start with a touchdown on their first drive.
That's right. Yeah.
And you don't know. I mean, Simmons didn't look great last week. He didn't look good last week. The rain was an issue, but you don't know how well they're going to be able to adjust to this week either.
Yeah, playing in a dome, so the rain won't be an issue. And Stitt has said that he expects Simmons to be the guy under center or back in the shotgun, I suppose, this week for his third career start, as Gustafson is still slowly coming along from that injury. And you got to think against a much lesser defense that hopefully they can open it up a little bit, and they can get the big plays that work so well against North Dakota and get back in the win column because they have two tough ones coming down right after that. Eastern Washington at home, and then the Bobcats on the road, obviously, to finish it off.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is, this feeling I have, but I would not be surprised if Brady Gustafson plays.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wouldn't. I've seen coaches do that, and then especially with a close practice, you can get him in there, and nobody really knows if he's practiced or not. But they need to do something. They need to get some momentum on offense because these last three defenses that they play are not very good. I mean, Eastern's isn't very good despite the fact that they're a top 5 team. And maybe they can get some momentum starting with this game, and maybe it can take them into that, like you said, a must-win situation for them.
Right, and the Bobcats defense, one of the worst in the league as well. So the Griz need to start scoring some points, and then that defense can do what they've been doing all year and really lock down on the opposing offenses. So check out Missoulian.com to see all our coverage this week leading up to the Idaho State game on Saturday. And follow the game live on Missoulian.com for the updates. Tune in next week for more Griz Tracks as well.